Am I plugged in? No. All right, let's do it again. Hi, everybody. It's Patsy. Hello. And I am going to do a twin flame reading for two people who are very close to me, and that would be my grandparents. And my grandmother's birthday is today, November 29, 2018. She would have been 99 years old. My grandfather's birthday was 11/27/2018. He would have been 101 years old. So my grandparents are 2 days apart and 2 years apart. And they're both Sagittarius. So they're both deceased, now. But I just thought it was interesting, always thought it was interesting that they were born 2 days and 2 years apart, especially as I've been on this spiritual journey, and I've determined that somehow or another in my life, there's a lot of twos, and there's a lot of, my daughter's father and I are 2 years apart. And just a lot of twos. I have my grandchildren are twins, my goddaughters are twins. It's just a lot of doubles around me, and synchronicities, right? A lot of synchronicities. Well, all this time, it never occurred to me. I mean, I knew that there was some kind of thing that was weird, but like I said, I didn't know what the twin flame journey was. And as I've learned more, I've come to understand maybe why things go the way that they go and whatever, and the connection. But today, I decided that I was going to do something I'd never done, and I was going to do their numbers, my grandfather and my grandmother's numbers. And based on the numbers that I got, my grandfather's numbers, his birthday and year, add up to 11. And my grandmother's is 11, 11, 11. That's what her birth numbers add up to. So that would be 33. 3 plus 3 is 6, so that's love. So, and if you add that 6 then to his 11, that'd be 17, which is 8, which is eternal. So I guess, according to this, my grandparents were twin flames. Now, as I said, they were 2 years and 2 days apart. They also grew up with one another in Panama. Their mothers were friends, and my grandmother's mother actually babysat for my grandfather while my great-grandmother, while his mother worked, basically, all right? So that's the gist of that story. So they grew up together, got married, had 3 kids. Best friends. Best friends. So I'm saying, let me take a look and see what are the energies that went on in this relationship, this marriage between these two, between Syl and Al, Silbert and Alice. Yes, Silbert. We don't even know where my great grandmother got that name from, but it was his name. Is his name. So let's see what is the energy that we have for him during this relationship. I don't know if this is going to work like this because they're both deceased, but let's see what the energy was during Okay, let's go with at the beginning of the relationship. What was Silbert's energy that he was displaying at the beginning of the relationship with Alice? This is just from my own curiosity. And I don't know if they're going to give me anything. All right, I guess they are. Okay, of course. I'm only laughing because I know my grandfather. Yes, God of sensuality. Sagittarius male. Narcissist. Okay, so during the beginning, the same time period, what was Alice's energy in this relationship with Sil? What was her energy during this relationship? That is too funny. So she was Kuan Yin, goddess of nurturing, and Pachama, the goddess of forgiveness. Bottom of her deck, Hathor, goddess of love. Bottom of his deck, Thor, god of action. Wow, that's interesting. And it's fitting. So, god of sensuality and the goddess of forgiving and nurturing. So, that makes sense because it's a man who cheats. This is a man who very much about himself. And he is very sexual and sensual. That's very important to him. So she is a mother, right? She's a goddess of nurturing, supportive, a wife. And because he is a cheat, she is the goddess of forgiveness because she loves him. And she's used to him. They've been friends all their lives. So we have a 2 here and a 8 and a 10. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Interesting. Okay, so this 2 and this 8 add up to 10, and this Quan is a 10. All right, so perhaps him looking at her as a mother and a wife affected the way that he interacted with her on a sensual level because of the being, maybe he thought of her differently, or maybe their sex life changed because of her becoming a mother and having children, and he was still up to his old tricks. And remember, this is back in the 1930s and 40s, so she was at home being a mother, plus she was nurturing to him, and she forgave him. She forgave a lot. All right, let's take a look at Dionysus, god of sensuality, number 2. So he is talking about someone's at the door. Must be a package. Okay. Hello, I have come forward to speak about how the feminine and masculine merge together during sex. As two sides of a polarity of energy, it is no surprise that men and women would experience sex differently, including arousal. These differences have caused some conflict and caused a rift between the two, each not always finding understanding for the other. Let's break down some of this now so that we can start bringing the beautiful ecstasy of physical union back to earth. Because let's face it, who doesn't want to experience sacred sexuality? I will start with the way the masculine experiences this sexual energy. I am the ambassador for male sexuality in this deck after all. For men, arousal starts developing in their sacral area, and then the heat builds and rises to their heart. Sex is very heart opening for men and is a form of creating love. For women, it develops in the opposite direction. Arousal tends to start through the stirring of the heart chakra. During foreplay, a foundation of energy built in this chakra streams down to her sacral, reaching her yoni. Sex that occurs predominantly in your society does not allow for the building of this energy due to a major disconnect, which means for many men it does not end up reaching the heart, and for many women it doesn't end up reaching their yoni. So, because we don't take time to really experience our sensuality and understand the way our bodies work, that women is from the heart down and men is from the sacral up. Heart chakra down, sacral chakra up for men. Heart chakra down for women. We don't take enough time to let those chakras get into alignment or be addressed, I guess, during foreplay, if there's foreplay. And so that ends up with people being dissatisfied in their sexual relationships. So, he doesn't attach sex with love, is basically what he's saying. Sex is sex, love is something different. Okay, so let's see what the goddess of nurturing, Kuan Yin. I have some words for you about the nurturing power of the feminine. My daughters upon the earth are judged in many ways for being too much of something or not enough of it, being a stay-at-home mother, or being a working mother, or not being a mother at all, for being too frigid or perhaps too promiscuous, for wearing too much makeup, not taking enough pride in her appearance. Most of these items that are up for discussion are things on a spectrum of energy that differ from person to person regardless of what is deemed right or wrong in your society. This is how I see it when women are being judged in regards to the energy that is close to my heart and that which I'm closely associated with, nurturing. Nurturing, as with the other topics mentioned, is meant to be a fluctuating spectrum from woman to woman, depending on how she is experiencing her unique existence within each moment. This is an area in particular where women pit themselves against one another in civil war. In reality, rejecting the other is rejecting oneself because each of us has the potential within us to exhibit each end of the polarity, good or bad, love or fear, extremely nurturing or mildly so. Each unique expression of divinity is intended to be just that, a free individual expression. Ashe. Okay, I got it. So, again, being a mother changes your priorities, things that you focus on, right? Especially when you have kids quickly after one another. All right, so it changes the way your husband interacts with you. And again, we're talking about back in the 30s, all right? And these people have known each other since childhood. And he may have seen her one way as a teenager, and they got married as teenagers because there was a pregnancy. And they stayed married, and they worked together. They had a business because she was working and being a mother and being nurturing and investing in her marriage with her husband, with her friend, her best friend that she grew up with. But he's a cheater. And when we have the goddess of forgiveness, so Pachamama, number 8. And we got an 8 when we added them up together before. Forgiveness. My dear child, I am watching over you all, and I feel your pain. I feel the deep hurts that are now so deeply entrenched within your collective that Mother Earth herself is embedded to her core with this pain. What I have to share with you today is so fundamentally important at this time that you can consider it one of the main cornerstones to your healing. Forgiveness is the medicine humanity needs. It is integral to know that forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Holding on to hatred or anger and bitterness only makes you heavy. It stops you from being able to attract lightness into your life. It closes your heart. It keeps your energy blocked and stagnant. For way too long, you have been harboring hatred and pain and resentment in your bodies, in your consciousness, your cellular memory, and ancestral lines. Forgiving someone does not condone the behaviors that they have shown you. It simply does not, and it certainly does not mean that they can violate your boundaries again. It is to release the pain. It is not to say that the pain never existed. It is to release you from being trapped in that energy, feeling like the betrayal is still occurring in the present. This is how radical change can manifest for you. To assist in releasing the old paradigm and to build a new foundation of love, of harmony, and of joy. Okay, so the goddess of forgiveness is here today to help heal this relationship. These two people who at one time loved each other very deeply. And at one time, Silbert hurt Alice very deeply. I'm saying it. They, one of you or whoever, whatever, this is what happened. He hurt her very deeply. He did. All right, so let's see. What was the challenge? I don't think it's going to come. Oh, my goodness, that's too many. There's a lot of challenges. I bet. Do we have everybody here? These are 40-foot cards, 11 sections, one for the male, one for the female, one of the challenge, and one of the lesson. Let's see. Ha! Boundaries. Ashe. Challenges boundaries. Yes, it was. Because lover boy here. Didn't respect boundaries that go along with marriage, or the boundaries that go along with stepping outside of your marriage and relationships with women who were too young for you to be involved with, especially when you're married. Not pedophilia, but inappropriate nonetheless. And oh my God. So the healing energy here, communion, 11 again. Got 11. Communion is spending time together, talking, healing, trying to get an understanding. That's interesting. But I guess what they're saying is that at some point they came to some kind of resolution about the situation, but I'm getting it that nobody knows about it. It was a secret. It was a secret, and maybe now that they have crossed over, that's okay. That's where the communion occurred. The acceptance of the situation, and it gave, okay. When they passed away, it gave them a chance on the other side without any interference from other sources. Yes. Yes. Because early when I was first starting doing these readings, I had no. Somebody on Facebook pulled a card for me. And when she interpreted it, my grandmother came through. Alice came through. And she showed up with two men, like they were both her husbands. And that's what happened, because my grandmother and my grandfather got divorced. They both got remarried. And when her husband died, her second husband died, my grandfather was already dead. But when her second husband died, she died a month after him. I didn't even see if they were twin flames. I didn't even go that far. I guess I could, but just like I'm not addressing my step-grandmother, I'm not addressing my step-grandfather right now. I'm focused on this relationship because this is my blood. This is what's my generational curses and karmas that I apparently being expected to address somehow for them, to help them address it, or to share this information so that others can avoid these pitfalls or understand these things or know that they're not alone and their family isn't strange. There's strange families and everybody has dysfunction. So don't think it's just y'all. Oh, look, the bottom of the deck is openness. See, they want this to be told. They want the story out. And number 3, for the fears, the inner child. Again, these are two people who knew each other since they were babies. Look at that. and they turned their back on each other, but they were each other's best friend. They were each other's help. So this is about healing. They're both their inner child. Aww. Okay. Mm. So I'm getting that there's been some resolution to this on the other side. That they have all of this has been resolved on the other side. Or maybe this is something that they want this to be known. They want us to know this, that there has been some inner child is 3, openness is 2. So 3 and 2 is 5. There's been change. There's been a change. They've communicated. Boundaries have been addressed. I think this is saying that people have taken responsibility for their actions in this relationship. And they have come to an acceptance of each other and a recognition of their connection. Again, 11. My grandmother's, all 3 of her numbers added up to 11, and my grandfather added up to 11. So this twin flame connection, even though it was broken in this 3D world, I think they're telling me that it continued and that it was healed in the Ooh, 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 ooh. What did I just do? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I just spilled water all over this. Ah, that's okay. That's okay because these cards are matte, glossy, good stock. Water just beads up and rolls off. But we don't want to play ourselves. And paper towel. Okay. Be prepared. Okay. Alrighty. That's it. And we are going to dry these cards off. Excuse me, folks. I guess I could be stopping the camera right now, huh? But knowing the way I do things, I'll delete the film or something. Delete the video. Alright, so we have Pachama, communion, boundaries. Alrighty. Not a disaster. Not a disaster. I have like a plastic sheet over the table just for such emergencies. All right, good. All right, let's see what we can let's do this. Like I said, always prepared. Place this there over the affected area. It is not affected, it's dry. pretty much dry. All right, so let's lay this back out and let's see what we get here. So let's okay, here we go. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let's see. They said to get some past life oracle. I don't know, but we'll see. And that's by Doreen Virtue and Dr. Brian Weiss, MD. So, we have a message for me regarding this relationship between Silbert and Alice. Is there any guidance, anything that I can, past life oracle can reveal about this relationship that we need to understand? Okay, phobias. Okay. Yes. Yes, phobias. So the I'm getting that what it's saying is the ancestral PTSD created, or these people were suffering from a phobia. Could be abandonment on both their sides. Right, because my grandfather's father died when he was 18 months old, so he never really knew him, doesn't have any memory of him, didn't have any memory of him. My grandmother grew up in a intact family. Okay. So this, okay, when this relationship broke up, she did get it affected her mentally. It affected her. It put a fear in her. She developed a phobia, fear of abandonment, fear of loss of connecting. She gave up. Look at this again, forgiveness. Wow. Forgiveness again. Oh, wow. All right, so let's look at phobias. Interesting. And forgiveness. This card comes to compassionately help you to connect the dots between current life phobias and past lifetimes. Okay. Often consciously remembering the past life source of your anxieties is enough to release their grip on you. The situation you're inquiring about has its basis on underlying fears and phobias. These fears are energy blocks, which are slowing or prohibiting the results you desire. The results you desire. Phobias have to do with the impulse to have complete mastery over situations that are out of your control. They may also bring up many trust issues. Your higher self and unconscious mind know the original source of any phobias you may have manifested. You can unearth the origins of these phobias through a past life regression or even through dream work. For example, as you're falling asleep, ask your higher self to give you information that you'll remember upon waking that's related to the phobia. By directly confronting your underlying fears, you can lessen their hold on your unconscious. It's all about awareness. Okay, okay, okay. So, while I was reading that, I was getting that when they broke up, when they divorced, it did create trust issues for her because of his cheating. And even though she was nurturing and forgiving of him, he left to go be with the karmic. And I'm saying that because he's 11, she's 11. So this was a twin flame connection. They got 4 11s and then now 11, and then 2 cards of forgiveness. These people were connected to each other very deeply. But this situation traumatized her. And I know it did. That's why she was able to give her children to her parents and then later send them to the United States without her to be with him. It wasn't because she didn't love them. She wanted them to have an opportunity for an education. And she has revealed to me before that it was easier for her to do that because the man that she had been seeing was still very jealous of my grandfather. And it was this way she didn't have to interact with him as far as giving her money for the kids and that kind of stuff because it created situations in her life. Because he would come back and forth. He was a merchant seaman, so he would travel all around the world. So he would go to the United States, he would go to Panama, he'd go to Japan, he'd go to Hawaii, he'd go all over the place. And I guess that's how she was, didn't have child support like, electronic things. You take the money, you get the money when you see the man, right? So she would, I guess, have to see him in order to get the money. And because he is always this, and they have been married and they have 3 kids together, and she don't got no respect for the Jezebel that interrupted her relationship. So have at it, I guess. Or she had the opportunity was there because she always forgave him anyway because she loved him. And without him, she couldn't take care of her kids. She couldn't look at them. Oh, wow. It was hard for her to look at her children because they reminded her of him. And who knows what? This is a confirmation. My girlfriend that I grew up, who had the same name as me, just sent me a message on Messenger, and I just had the ding. Okay, thank you, Nat. Thank you. Okay, so it was hard for her to deal with all of the things that went along with being divorced and having kids. And again, remember, this is in the 30s and 40s. So, divorce is not that rampant, and their divorce was kind of public. It was kind of embarrassing because they owned the business together. So it had to go through the court system because it was a contesting ownership, and rights and that kind of stuff. And I know this because I saw the newspaper clippings when my grandmother came here. That was the first thing she showed me when she opened up her suitcase was the newspaper clippings in Spanish and English about the trial and what my grandfather tried to do, how he tried to get away with not giving her what she was entitled to, and lying, and having his friend lie. And his mother, my great-grandmother, testified on behalf of her daughter-in-law, and that was earth-shattering news, because women, especially West Indian women, don't talk bad against their sons, not at all. But my great-grandmother had integrity, and she knew how she raised her son, and that was not how she raised him, and she said it in public, and that became a thing between him and his mother, of course, right? But right is right and wrong is wrong. And she said, I did not raise this boy like this. I don't know. This is not the way I raised him. This is not who he's supposed to be. So there was a fear that developed, phobias that developed with this. She was, it was post-traumatic stress is what it was. And she needed to separate from the memory and the trauma, the embarrassment of it, the public display of, you know, they had a business together. He was right. He owned a bus. That was a big thing in Panama. It still is. Well, in Barbados, you could see how that would have. That's your own business. It's like having a taxi license in New York, TLC, right? So you get that bus and you have a route, and his route was school, taking kids to school. And so one of the girls on the school bus pulled a Monica Lewinsky. She took a look and she's like, but she was a student, she was a kid, and he was a grown man and married with a family. And it became a problem. And what I've come over time to figure out logically is that I think he did what he did in a way, because I think he did what he did as far as avoiding this, ending his marriage, because he gets the schoolgirl pregnant. And I think what happened is, in order to avoid jail, he ain't trying to go to jail, he divorced my grandmother and married his second wife. So he overstepped the boundaries. But again, we have forgiveness here and here, and communion, talking and spending time together. I always thought that my grandparents, even though, you know what, I think that she just had a weakness for him, and he took advantage of it. I really think that that's as simple as that. Okay, let's see what forgiveness is about. Because that's what we want here. The situation you are inquiring about will be healed and improved through your willingness to release old stored anger. You may not even be consciously aware that you've been holding on to resentment. Your anger may show up in subtle ways such as high blood pressure, addictions, insomnia, or moodiness. Wouldn't it be great to have stable moods and more control over your health? Ashe. Forgiveness isn't the same as saying that the actions of others were justified or acceptable. Instead, forgiveness is a statement of self-empowerment. You choose to detoxify yourself of all stored anger and other negative energies. After you hang on to anger, it only hurts you and not the other person. To heal the situation, be aware that meditation, meditation and introspection are important practices that can help you. See that your anger is merely a transient feeling, like a dark cloud floating across the sky. Recognize that the source comes from a past life. Let it go. Forgiveness is cathartic and profoundly healing. Free yourself from negative and harmful emotions. Ashe. So, I think that what I'm seeing here is that there was forgiveness and communion on my grandparents' part. Even it could have happened somewhere in the 3D that no one knew about and that I could see. And if not, they've achieved forgiveness in heaven or on the other side. They have solved this. They've forgiven each other, or she has forgiven him, basically. And it's resolved, and I think they want to share this with us, the family, so that we can deal with our things. Because these things trickle down somehow. I know my mother is still resentful of this, and everybody's dead. But these were her parents, and she has. Okay, so they're saying, don't be afraid. Okay. Oh. And I will always point you in the right direction. All right. I see all of your thoughts. I feel happy and healthy. Okay. I had to leave that way. And on this card, there's 3 figures, and it looks to me like 2 men and a woman. And that's basically what happened. First, my grandfather died, and then her husband died, her second husband, and then she came right after. Wow. And that's what they're pointing out to me. And she died after her second husband died. She stopped eating. She didn't want to be without him. And they were talking about amputating her foot, and she didn't want that. She came here with 2 feet. She's leaving with 2 feet, she said. So once she found out that he had passed away, a month later, she was dead. Right in the nursing home, refusing to eat. But she's saying she had to leave that way. So I'm getting that Hmm. They were twin flames. People have free wills. He went off with his karmic. She found a karmic and remained, both of them married to these karmics to the end of their lives. But once they crossed over, once they transitioned, it was different. And they got a chance to commune with one another and to forgive. So you got a ding again. Okay, so there was forgiveness, and she was able to heal some of the pain, all of the pain, and she wants me to know that, even though my mother ain't gonna get it. But who knows, maybe one day she will. She might not after she sees that video I made the other day, but I'm not mad at her. And I realized that the reason that my kids told me that and I reacted to it and processed it and let it go is because I was handling something that she would have had to deal with, you know, like a karmic lesson. So I negated it. Like one of my subscribers, Kaida, told me there's a term for it in spirituality. Transverse karma, something. But basically, I handled it so that she don't have to be held accountable for the bad karma that she put out, because she wouldn't have known. It would have never been forgiven, right? And it would have caused bad karma for her. I wouldn't have known about it. So that's why it was told to me, so that's one less thing that she have to deal with when she transitions. And I am more than happy to do that for my mommy, because I love her. She's just weird. She's an Aries. But that's my grandmother's telling me that she had to leave the way that she did. And my grandfather, he had told me he was coming home the next day. And then he died overnight while I was at work. My pastor died like that too. He told me he was going to come home the next day, and he died. Strange. Interesting. I just thought of that. It's important. So that's that. So they're forgiven. My grandmother forgiven my grandfather. She dealt with her phobias that developed in this relationship that passed down to us. So that's why we have trust issues. And she has healed hers through forgiveness. So this is what she wants us to do, is forgive the situation and get past it. That's what it is. We have to get past the situation. And it's not like we deal with it like my mother and her siblings have never made a difference. You know, they've always been brothers and sisters. There's no step and half and none of that. None of us do that. We are all the same family. Even my step grandmother's family, we're all family. You know, only different parts of life it comes up, like medical things and stuff like that. It comes. Well, we don't have the same grandmother, so that's not whatever. But it's not we are family. We're a family. So we're going to see if we can get any further guidance from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. And that's by Kyle Gray, and Lily Moses is the artist. And let's see if we can get any further advice for the family of Al and Silbert and Alice, about this situation. Of course. First, Stag. Trust and thrive. Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. Hunter. Track down your fears and your desires. Wow. Fire Guardian. Ignite your passions. And Oracle. Wait for important information. Okay, so be open to intuition. Oh, again. Magic Guardian at the bottom of the deck. Unlock the magic within. Ashe. Who got this? This was Leo, I think, got this yesterday at the bottom of their deck, or part of their reading. Trust and thrive. So have faith, right? Telling us, family, me, let myself be loved. Open my heart. Trust and open my heart. Open our hearts. Track down your fears and desires. So, trying to find out where this all stems from, right? Where it comes from. Ancestral. There's some Aries energy in there too. And the Sagittarius energy. This is, yeah, Sagittarius energy, Earth energy. So fire and earth. And we got here the Fire Guardian. The Stag is earth energy. And the Heart Guardian, the fire energy. And the Oracle is fire and air. Wait for important information. Alrighty, let's see. Thank you. Be open and receptive to information. Gather facts so you can make a decision that is in line with your integrity. This oracle is the truth speaker and the insight bringer of this deck. The ancestors who will be your best outspoken girlfriend. Someone who will tell you exactly what you need to hear to move forward. In this deck, she is reminiscent of the Oracle of Delphi, a psychic priestess of ancient Greece who was able to receive information and make predictions. She holds a dish that has a sacred smoke ring rising out of it, bringing the message to look beyond all you can see and gather information in order to make an accurate evaluation of the current situation. Well, I guess that might be what I'm doing. Angels and the ancestors in the universe are speaking to you at this time. So look and listen for important conversations, signs, and messages that will point you in the right direction. You're being guided to wait for more information before making any fast moves, because at the moment you are letting your wants get in the way of your needs. There is an opportunity for you to see everything clearly at this time, but you will only be able to do so if you're willing to truly open your eyes. If you've been waiting for further information about a choice you have to make or action you have to take, don't take matters into your own hands, but let what needs to be revealed be revealed. Then you'll know what to do next. Angels are supporting you. Trust them. Okay. Well, I know what that's about. But again, divine timing. Waiting for the messages, the information to come, to flow as they want it to. This is a process that they are leading me through for a reason. And it just could be so that I could share these messages with you this is what they want. They want these messages shared, these lessons. Okay, well, I always knew that that's what they wanted. I just didn't know how they were going to do it. And now I see it. They're going to take me through this journey. All right. I got today that on my father's side, was it today or yesterday? On my father's side, they don't want to be forgotten. That's their thing. My mother's side, I guess they want to clear this situation up. I don't know why they made it look like this. I know why they did, but it's just annoying. It really is. Stag. Where is it? It's okay. Thank you. Come alive and thrive. Stand in your light and glory with grace and majesty. Stag card brings graceful and powerful medicine into your life. In the Celtic traditions, the stag with his crown of antlers is known as the king of the forest and is a totem that brings protection in challenging times. In Native American traditions, he is greatly loved. For stags and deer have provided food for people and materials that have allowed them to create medicine items such as drums and rattles and smudge fans. Although the stag has been hunted in the past, and still is, he has strength, dignity, and poise. When this card arises, it also represents fertility and sexuality. Maybe the opportunity to explore your sexual side with your spiritual integrity supporting you on that journey. Okay. And that would have fallen on top of Dionysus and don't be afraid. So don't be afraid to explore your sexuality, your sensuality. You have an opportunity to thrive. Trust in all that you have to offer, all your gifts, strength, and power, and make the most of it. You were born to lead, and this can only become reality when you're willing to put yourself in that position. Stag energy allows you to feel safe because the antlers keep away anything that would interfere with your intelligence and presence, and your strength gives you the power to be agile in your thinking. You're being encouraged to retain your dignity and be proud of who you are and all that you've accomplished. This in turn will give you more power to thrive onwards and upwards. Oh, okay, sure. Good. So this is a healing for the family and a healing for me. But I forgave this. I understood this a long time ago. I got this when I was a kid, really, honestly. Nobody else did. And it got me in a lot of trouble because I understood what was happening for the most part. I didn't know anything about the twin flame thing, but I had an idea of what the scene was on all sides. Like I was able to feel how my grandmother was feeling, what my grandfather was dealing with, and kind of like, okay, well, he made a choice, which is what you have a right to do. He followed his free will, but because of this situation, it has left a mark on the rest of us somehow. So your choices are important. You have to be very, very thoughtful about your choices, is the message. The heart guardian welcomes with open arms the opportunity to give and receive love. The heart guardian is an angelic energy that can help you call for protection and guidance with all issues surrounding the heart. This is essentially the angel who helps you to help you with all relationships, whether they be with yourself, family, or even a romantic connection. She can enable you to move beyond limiting fears about trust, discern whom to trust, and understand how you can move forward in a balanced relationship with that person. In this card, she is adorned with a sacred heart and draped in a red cloak to show her capacity to let love lead the way. You are loved, lovable, and loving. The energy of love is surrounding your whole world at this time. Angels are swirling around you, encouraging you to open your heart and reveal the blessings that you have to offer. They want you to know that you are a highly loving being who deserves to give and receive love. If you're finding it challenging to feel love at this time, it's important for you to give yourself credit when it's due. You're also encouraged to welcome support from others. Learn to receive. Don't try and do everything on your own. If you're working on a relationship or in a new relationship, this card can usher in energies that allow you to forge a powerful connection with your partner. Love is in the air. Okay. All right. So, heart connection. Love is in the air. Hunter. Track down your fears and your desires. All right. Oh, come on. Okay, Hunter. Track down all of your fearful thoughts and feelings. When you find them, you'll find your desires too. The Hunter card is based on my favorite Celtic god, Cernunnos. Cernunnos. He is the stag god of the wild and represents both the hunted and the hunter. Wow. Okay. Similarly, the hunter helps you connect with an energy that is both fearful and fearless. Your fears are the only things that are standing between you and what you desire at this time. So you have to come face to face with them. The hunter does, as a hunter does with wild animals, and go beyond them. Instead of being hunted down by your fears or other feelings that you have buried, become the hunter. You are being given confidence and strength in this time, so use your power to make a difference. You are not here to cower away or live in the shadows. You are here to realize your fullest potential, but this can only occur when you step up and do what needs to be done. When this card arises, there could be an opportunity to face an aspect of your past or bring closure to a situation that has been haunting you. You are a man If you are a man or identify as male, this card represents your masculinity and the opportunity to know yourself more deeply. If you are a female or identify as female, this card represents your capacity to be strong and powerful and overcome limitations. Ashe. Okay. I think I'm getting the message here. Yeah. I know this is long. People don't like long readings, but this message needed to be done, and hopefully you enjoy it. Turn it on, turn it off, watch it in pieces, sit down with some hot chocolate and some popcorn and Christmas candy or whatever, or leftover Thanksgiving if there's any left, and just enjoy it, because there's a lesson in here for everybody. I definitely know it's one in here for me. And I thank you, Egun. I thank you, grandmother. I thank you, grandfather. I thank you, grandma. I thank you, mother dear. Mother dear is my grandfather's second wife, my step grandmother, the karmic, right? And thank you, Wilfred. Wilfred is my grandmother's second husband. But both of those relationships lasted 50 years after this confusion. So they found love. They settled. That's what Spirit said. They settled for this. But there was always a connection because it was love and there was forgiveness. And they had resolved this issue before she came here, I'm hearing. But when she finally came here, it made it difficult because, it was sneaky. And they communicated through other people, not with each other. But she always carried that torch for him. And he did for her, he said. Anyway. Oh, and fire guardian. So both of them are fire signs, Sagittarius, right? Actually, mother did too because she was Aries. So this is a lot of fire. Wilfred's birthday, I think, was in October. I think he was like a Libra, Scorpio cusp. I'm thinking that. That's interesting too. So the fire guardian represents the angels of fire. Fire is an energy that many people are afraid of, but shouldn't be. Burning desires can lead to great expansion, and allow the fire guardian to help you awaken a wilder side of yourself and burn away any fear or shame that stands between you and your desires. When this card appears, you are reminded that passion is powerful and absolutely encouraged by spirit. You're being guided by your spirits to connect with the powerful energy of desire at this time. If you have recently set an intention to explore your sexual side or become more sexually open, the fire of desire can burn away any old setbacks that are preventing you from expressing that part of your nature. If you're in a relationship, this card can indicate a great spiritual and sexual connection. Ashe. Ashe. Okay, so there was a deep spiritual and sexual connection between these two people. And even with the karmics, there was a connection. Look at this. We got 2 women and 2 men in this. Okay. All right. And these 3 are all fire, and this is earth. Like I said, I thought Wilfred was Scorpio and Libra, but that's air and water. Oh, no, but this also has fire in it, to me. All right. So there's fire, 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 and earth. Yeah, okay. That would have been fire and earth. Yes, because Mother Dear is April, like the cusp of Aries and Taurus. That's it. And that's the energy that came between them. That's the energy. Okay, I got it. Fire and earth, and they were fire and water because they were close to Scorpio, end of Sagittarius. So they were fire and water, and she was fire and earth. Mm. That, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so, but they're good. There was forgiveness. They're good. They're over. All right, so what is it that I need to know for myself for this situation? I'll take a Divine Feminine card. Yes, I think so. Oh, no, this is Power Tarot. It's Divine Feminine. Yes. Mm. Mm. All right. And a native spirit at the end. All right. Like this shouldn't be at the end, right, already? Thanks for hanging in there with me, folks. This is important. And my grandmother didn't get no air, and she never got to express herself. And, you know, it was like she was made to look like she was a bad guy because she sent her children to the United States to be with their father. But why not? He had moved to the United States and brought her and her father and her mother and everybody else. So, I mean, why shouldn't his children have that opportunity too? And this way, she didn't have to argue and fight with the second husband about whatever interaction she was needing to have with him in order to get money for the kids, right? Ooh. Akhalanda, the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. And that was said in one of these oracles already. Become more love, right? The goddess of never not broken. Damn. Arkalinda. Alrighty, where is she? It would help if it was in alphabetical order, even here in the 96. Okay. 6. Mm, okay. That adds up to love too, right? Akhilanda. 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 Goddess of never not broken. Akhilanda represents the essence of the phoenix. She is the indestructible energy that embraces change. She knows that everything is conspiring to transform her into only more love and light. Akalinda is an elusive goddess from Hindu mythology. Her full name is, oh my goodness, Akalinda Deshvari. Ishvari in Sanskrit means female power or goddess, and Akalinda means never not broken. So she is the goddess of so she is the goddess of never not broken. She can never be broken because she always is. She is the embodiment of what we try to avoid, the dissolution of our ego's identity. Her power is unparalleled. She radiates the potent light and joy that's the goal of change, transformation, or pain. There is very little written about her, and she is meant to be known through experience. She is an intimate, interior goddess that we meet when we are in the darkest moments of grief and heartache. She shows us where our energy is trapped, where we have been stifled in routines or others' expectations of us. And she whispers the liberation we will experience once we have let ourselves break open and allow the new expression of ourself to come blazing through. She reminds us that we always have the power to choose, to see every event as yet another opportunity to become more light, to become more of the radiant soul that we are here to be. So, many of us exert tremendous energy and effort to not break or to fall apart. So we try to avoid this pain. We try to avoid exposing our egos or allowing ourselves to be hurt. We resist our grief, our heartbreak, or we deny the need to change until the choice no longer feels like it's ours. Something sideswipes us in our ordinary life and shatters who we think we are and how we identify ourselves. Here's what Akalinda reminds us. Vulnerability is our greatest strength. If we are always broken, we can never break. Akalinda is the most intimate and personally powerful goddess because she meets us in those moments when we can feel our most alone, our most exposed, and our most afraid. She models how to thrive in the midst of change and uses pain to joyfully and purposefully transform. She sees everything as an opportunity to release what isn't serving her. And she knows that being broken isn't a failure or something that we should avoid. It's actually the whole point. We are here to let go of our ideas of ourselves and let it go up in flames so that beneath the ashes, the soft core of who we truly are arises. And so that we remember that it's not the heart that ever breaks, it's the ego. The heart only ever expands. And there's a soul voice meditation. What heartbreak can I see now as an opportunity to expand? And the intention, everything happens for my liberation. And I choose to become only more love. Ashe. 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 So, So I came broken. I understand that I came broken. And I have remained broken. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, I just keep going and I will always be broken. And this is about the karmic legacy, I guess. That you always carry this, but understanding that this is why I love so much, why my heart is open, because it's been broken. It's always been broken. I've lived through the broken, and I understand. I'm trying to understand. I'm starting to understand more and more and more what this is about. And I'm open to it. I want to embrace this. I want to heal myself. I want to heal my family. And I think that that is what is happening, even if some folks don't appreciate it. Well, hey, had to be done, and I'm sorry. You mad? Talk to God about it. It's just the way it is. You don't like how it's being done, you step up to the plate and do it. More than enough pain to go around. Really? Look at this. I got lipstick all over the teeth. Sorry, folks. So from the native spirit, let's see what the advice is. Like I said, this reading is just a birthday gift for my grandparents. Oh, ego medicine. Looking at things from a different perspective, a higher perspective. Huh? That what that is? Let's see. Profound connection to the Creator and the heavenly realms. As the eagle soars high above the earth, it has the ability to see things from a higher perspective. Courage and stamina are filling your life. You have the ferocity to right injustices and wrongs that have been done to you and others. This is the time to face fear and overcome it. If this card has chosen you, the native spirit wants you to know that you are at the advent of the opportunity to truly see life from a rarefied vantage point. Eagles are considered one of the most sacred of all birds in many tribes and cultures. Their single-minded fierceness, dynamic energy, and the ability to soar high are part of the reasons for this. This card reminds you to take heart and to face fear. You do indeed have the strength to overcome any adversity. You have a direct line to the Creator. Your prayers are heard and will be answered in accordance with your highest good. You have the capacity to channel extraordinary life force energy through your hands. Go on an inner journey and imagine that you are the eagle. Feel the power of your wings and the clarity of your eyesight and the power of your talons. As you do this, be aware of the energy of the majestic eagle filling you. Oh, shit. So, by being able to look at this situation from a higher perspective, spirituality, I'm able to heal this situation for myself and for my family. Divine Mother, Father, God, I praise your name and I honor your presence in this time and in this place. I give thanks for the air that I breathe. I give thanks for the body to which you express yourself as me. I give thanks that all that I have been, for all I am becoming, and all that I will be with your strength and with your guidance. I thank you for my going out and my coming in. I thank you for protecting myself and my family And I thank you for these lessons, and I thank you for the opportunity to forgive my grandfather for his selfishness, for his not thinking, for his callousness and conceit and narcissism. And I forgive my grandmother for not expressing to her children or letting them understand why she was doing what she was doing, not communicating, holding on to secrets, and allowing herself to take out her hurt on her family, on her children, that they felt abandoned by both their parents because she was so devastated. She was so hurt. She couldn't even look at them. She would not, she felt, she was afraid that she would not be able to function if she kept them with her. She was resentful, and she blamed the children for him leaving because she thought he didn't find her sexy anymore because she had had children and gained weight, and she was working and being a mother and trying to keep up with him, and she just changed who she was. Who she was changed. During the marriage. And she was so devastated and so depressed. And nobody explained that to her children. And she took the blame. She felt it was her fault because she couldn't hold on to her husband. But it wasn't her fault. It was nobody's fault. Actually, I guess it was supposed to happen that way. But that doesn't help you at the time because you don't know that and you're living through it and it hurts. It's a betrayal. Someone that you have known since you were a kid. Your mother babysat them before you were even born. Your friend, your best friend, the guy, the man, the person that you love. And because of their inability to control themselves and to honor the boundaries that they agreed to, You had to pay that price for that, for his indiscretion for the rest of your life. And he was able to leave the country and start a new life somewhere else. And there you remained with the people who saw what had happened. And so it looks like he has done so well and that he made a better choice. And you just couldn't look at it anymore. And that's part of the reason why you sent your children to live with their father, along with what I was saying. He was taking advantage of the fact that he had to interact with you to give you money for the kids. He was taking advantage of that. And he was trying to use you. And even if he wasn't, you were dealing with another idiot who was jealous. Just as she was still jealous of you too, in case you didn't know. And that's the other thing. His second wife, Mother Dear, is beautiful. And my grandmother, he used to call her ugly. That was his nickname for her all the time when they were growing up. So it was just a lot. It was too much. It was too much. It was too much, and she couldn't handle it. It was too much. It was insult to injury to injury to injury, never not broken. So even when he died, she couldn't get out of bed. You would have thought that she was still married to him or they had some communications and they didn't, but she held on to that love for this man all that time, all those years. And she was a faithful wife during their marriage. Which may not have been what he got in his second marriage. But again, she didn't care. That wasn't her business. And she just wanted to stop being tortured by the memory of what had happened to her. By the time all of this occurred, they were not even 30 years old. They were in their early 20s when all of this happened. This was very hard. 3 kids. And the comic was pregnant at the same time she was. But he divorced her to avoid jail. And then tried to say that the business that they had together, that she didn't put her money towards it. That she didn't put with him. Got in the court and lied about it. But thank goodness her mother-in-law stood up for her. But she still forgave him in life and after life. That's love. But that's a twin flame that made a choice to veer away from the relationship somehow, some way. And it needs to resolve itself. It has resolved itself on the other side. And everyone, all parties involved, can look at this from a different perspective along with me. So forgiveness. So I'm forgiving my grandfather and my grandmother, and even going to forgive Mother Dear and Wilfred. Amen. Forgive everyone. Learn from this. And allow myself to be loved. Finish searching and track down where my fears and my phobias and my desires stem from. And wait for more information, for more intuition, more messages to come, messages of forgiveness. Ashe. Thank you, Ego. Thank you. So, trust issues, abandonment issues, fear of the next shoe. It's always going to be a shoe because it's always a shoe. But we're learning to deal with it, right? We're learning our lessons and we are healing. So this is healing the situation for Silbert and Alice and Grell and Wilfred. And we thank you all for your lives and for who you are and for the lessons that you have brought to me and to the family and that you are sharing with the collective now. So hopefully this is satisfying some of your contract finally. Give us all peace. So thank you all for hanging in there with me and my crazy family. And I'm just glad to have this opportunity to do whatever it is that I need to do to help all of us, the collective, the family, my own relationship. It's all good, right? It's all God. So, thank you for watching, and I will be talking to everyone real soon. I uploaded a bonus reading for the sign of Virgo earlier, and I think I'm going to do one for Gemini and I think Capricorn. I think. I'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight, but maybe because I'm up. But I will talk to y'all later. If not, I'll do it over the next few days. All right. Thanks, everybody. And thank you all for your prayers while I was having surgery. You know, that's part of this also, losing teeth. It has something to do with spirituality also. It does. Shedding burdens. Except I'm too old for teeth to grow in. But still, sometimes they say when you dream of losing teeth, it's either something is going to die or something's going to end and it's going to transform. So I'd imagine if you lose teeth in real life also, it's about transformations, changes. Let's say. All right. Talk to y'all real soon. And it is 01:44:20. Okay. I say. Bye-bye.